Hey wildlings. The trees and the mycelium keep telling me to go live. And if you've never met me before, I'm a Smallbone. I'm a healer and a channel and a forest whisperer, and I work in the traditions of my ancestors. My life has been full of these crazy experiences and memorable moments and massive shifts and changes and transformations. And this past 5 years, I've completely surrendered to where I'm being directed. And when I finally surrendered and I finally realized that no matter what, I was going to end up on the same path, and that no matter what, I was going to be led exactly where I need to be. And I was starting to recognize that the patterns and the cycles and the shadows that were showing up in my life were so clear. And when I actually listened to those repeated messages and I started doing the work from those repeated messages, that's when everything really started to come alive and really started to make sense, that the teachings that I was supposed to be connecting with just arrived. And I heard whispers from the woods saying, you're no longer to learn from white colonized people. You're only allowed to learn from indigenous teachings, and specifically my own indigenous teachings. This all started when my father died on my birthday, and I had an experience of helping my father cross over. And that was February 27th, 2015. And I had already been a medium for a while. And I had been doing my work for a while. And I was still a photographer, and I was still doing I was doing too many things at the time. I was a college professor and a metaphysical store shop owner. And when my father passed, it made me face some things that I had been looking for, essentially my entire life. I've been a spiritual seeker. I've been a seeker of, like, what is going on in this brain of mine? What is it that allows me to see these things? So as a medium, I'm able to remote view. I can see in your house. I can see what your ancestors did. I can see your past, present, future, and not in huge, great detail. Hey, everybody. Spicoli, thanks for joining. You look like a lesbian Where's Waldo. Well, I'll take that as a compliment. Thanks so much. I appreciate it. I'm not wearing my toque, though, and that's funny because I usually wear a toque, so you're bang on. I am Where's Waldo, the female version. Actually, I'm non-binary, so if that really fucks you up, then we're totally off the charts. But when I started doing my mediumship in a different way to connect with my ancestors, to connect deeper into my ritual, and I started doing my work on the land, and my energy was being pulled a different way. Why would I show you my house? Like, that's just insane. I'll show you my garden and my forest because that's where I live most of the time. Oh, you want to explore houses? Oh, okay. I get that. We actually built our own house. That's one of the things that, really amazes me. I'm sitting here on a property in Canada that was gifted to me and my partner, the lumberjack. And we built our house with our own two hands. And it's my husband's a genius, and it's insulated concrete forms, and it's incredibly efficient. And our hydro bills, what's the net worth of the house? I kind of don't want to say publicly, but where we sit, my neighbor's Justin Bieber, just so you know. He's one concession north of me. So if you look up Justin Bieber's house and then you look at his neighborhood, you'll kind of get an idea of, yeah, of the value of our property and my house. So I have never really worked. Oh, it's way over. I think Justin Bieber's house is 6.7 million or something like that. That when I looked at that is not what my house is worth, by the way. Justin Bieber's like light year leagues. I built my own house. My house does not look like Justin Bieber's, but it's beautiful. Thank you for asking to see it, by the way. But when we started really connecting with this land, we started to experience things here on this property that were really interesting. We were connecting with animals. Can you believe? I can't even buy my own kid a PS5. I don't have enough money. That is what I was kind of trying to get to. I've been taken care of my entire life, and I don't really understand it because I left home when I was 16. I couldn't, I don't want to say I couldn't be controlled, but I couldn't be told the way things were. And I didn't find out until 2000. No, I was 46, so I'm 48 right now, if you can believe that. No, that's really what happened. I left home when I was 16, and I have struggled for 48 years. And I was a photographer, and I became a well-known photographer here in Canada. And I got connected with some really amazing people through the photography that I did. And then I ended up becoming a college professor through my photography, and I met some really amazing people while I was teaching photography. And again, not really ever making a ton of money, but always having what I needed and always being able to do the things that I wanted to do. Photography gave me the ability to travel. Can you say any, what's that? I'm on a project, so you can say any average salary of a coder or a software. Yeah, I don't make a salary. I don't make any money. I'm actually disabled because we'll get to it, but I have autism. So I don't actually make any money. And my neighbor's Justin Bieber. Yeah, I'm in Canada. And I sit here in my garden looking at my vegetable garden that is crazy abundant this year, and I've barely even touched it. And I was born in England. I wasn't even born. Well, I'm sitting in my gazebo, and it's covered in beans. And then there's my hammock. And you can see my forest in the background. And I'll give you there's a peek of the house. But the energy that I'm connecting here with looks scary. Oh my God, that's so funny. It looks scary though. Everybody thinks that it's, why would it look scary? Everybody thinks forests are scary. I'm never scared when I go into the forest. But I have lived here for 24 years. And 3 years ago, I started sitting with the land and chanting with the land and doing my yoga with the land. And I started seeing animals that have never been here before. And I started connecting in ways that I had never connected before. And I still can't explain a lot of it. And I don't think I'm supposed to. I think I'm just supposed to come on here and talk about it and share with you how all of these connections happened and just talk about it, because I know I'm supposed to be. I've already written a book. It's called The Barefoot Medium. It was a bestseller. um, oh, there we go. Uh, the Canadian forests aren't as scary, and I'm not like everybody thinks. Like, I mean, yes, I'm kind of in the wilderness, but it's not really the wilderness. I think I just need to start sharing with the world that the abundance in the land beneath our feet is beyond whatever you could ever imagine. And that if you just start having a relationship with the land, and a relationship with the land can mean many different things. It can mean having a garden and growing food, but it can also mean just sitting peacefully with your land. What's your opinion on India? India's great. It's just too many people for me. My autism would like go off the charts. I would be so overstimulated. I need quiet and the woods. It's why I ended up in Canada. I needed to be in the middle of nowhere to do the work that I do. I was born in England, and we came here when I was 3 years old, and we have no family here. So I'm an immigrant. Um, and it was just me, my brother, and my mom and my dad. And we fought really hard to get where our family got to. And my father created abundance for our family in a way that allowed my mom to continue living the life that she desired after he passed. And my husband's ancestors did the same, came here from Scotland, but he was born here. Hey, everybody. My fiance, well, he's my husband. We've been together for 24 years. He's part of all of this. He was brought to me by, I don't know who, but he is magic, and he contains so much amazing energy, and he grounds me in ways that I don't really necessarily understand yet. But I know he's also a part of this. And I know that the land that we're on is a part of this. And I know we're going to be fighting for some land soon. So I'm on here. Hey, Coco. Um, nice meeting you too. That's okay. Good to have you on here. Thanks for sharing your energy and asking questions. So I've realized that the more that I channel and the more that I just let the energy flow through me, and the more that I work with the energies in this forest, the more abundant I become. And I've learned to look at abundance in a completely different way than I was previously. And I've been asked to question my abundance, and I've been asked, hey, I think I'm supposed to be done. This one was only supposed to be about who I am and how I kind of got here, and what I'm doing here, and that my abundance is more than I ever could have imagined. And at the same time, I also have nothing. And I think when you can feel abundant when you truly have zero, like, not that I have zero, because I have a house, I have shelter, I have family, I have all the things. But my bank account doesn't reflect how I feel. And that's kind of what I wanted to share, was there is an abundance, a feeling of abundance that has nothing to do with money. It has nothing to do with how much money is in your bank account and how many awards you have on your shelves. I'm talking about an abundance where you just know you are taken care of and you know that you are on the right path. And it's being laid out so clearly in front of you that you can't even ponder how you got here and how all of these things connected. But when you actually speak them out loud, well, it has to be the truth because it happened. It's time, wildlings. It's time for the divergent thinkers to rise up. It's time for us to light our fires, to light our fires for our family, to light our fires for our community, to light our fires for ourselves, and to heal in such great abundance that you can't fathom how good this feels. The peace and calm that you get when you tap into this abundance is something I can't explain. So for now, wildlings, go and be wild.